Oh, we're live. The
How about
countdown
that?
didn't work this time.
I've never seen a countdown. That was a new one to me.
Yeah, there's a link you can click where it'll flip to like a 30-second countdown, and it gives time
Okay.
for the announcement to go out and everybody to come in. And
Yep.
uh and I guess I didn't click the button right. Sorry, y'all. Hi, welcome to the show. I have the lovely Priscilla and Heather here with me,
Hello.
otherwise known as the Crone Zone. And I don't know, we're just going to talk about all kinds of stuff tonight. So
Whatever happens to cross your mind.
whatever happens, happens.
That's
Um,
exactly
I
right.
just got
Hmm.
off a 2-hour show with Craig Dixon, talking about mediumship stuff, and it was a lot of fun. Um, Craig's a very nice guy, so if y'all get a chance, go
We
over
will.
there and watch.
Check it
And
out.
something that I just found out is if you go into a show after the live is over and the show's up on YouTube, if you go in and leave a comment, even if it's just one word, it boosts the algorithm for the channel.
Cool.
So
Cool.
anytime you see anybody that you're in their live, or if you're just watching a video that they've done, go into the comment section and just an emoji, a thumbs up,
Anything.
great show, whatever
It
you want to
helps.
put, just put something in the comments and it will boost that show. So I just learned this. I was like, oh, I got to remember to tell everybody to
I got to
go
do it.
do
I got
that.
to do it.
And so now I've been like backtracking to other people's shows that I've been watching and going back in and adding a little comment, it's like I can't ask them to do it to me if I don't do it for them. So. And
So make comments, you guys.
there you go. Make lots of comments. Let's see
Preferably
who we
nice
got. We've
ones.
got Sharon Sipe is here. Lisa Rhodes is here. Amy is here. And
Hi,
Jenny is
Lisa.
here. Thank
Hi,
y'all
Sharon.
for coming in.
Hi, guys.
And
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks.
once everybody kind of realizes we're
Thanks
up
for
and
having
running,
us, Miss Sherry. Thanks
Yes,
for
thank
having
you
us
very
on your
much for having us
show.
here.
I know I had a
Appreciate it.
ball last night, so that was
I'm
my
not sure we
fun.
can top the girls.
Well,
I'm
see,
not
I just traded two lovely ladies for two more lovely ladies. So I'm keeping this theme going here.
Yeah,
One had purple hair and one has pink hair. So,
That's
exactly.
right.
Cool.
well, actually, one had pink hair too.
Yeah.
One
Yeah,
had purple hair and
You're
one had
right.
pink
Yeah,
hair.
it is.
So,
and actually darker than yours. Yep.
yeah,
Yes.
like
His
neon.
wasn't natural. Hers was not natural.
No, I think hers was manufactured that she fits on.
Mhm.
But
But
my
that's
mother
okay.
wore wigs, but I
You
never
do
could.
you, boo.
That's it. Um, my mother had very fine baby hair. Even as an adult,
Me.
it wouldn't grow past an inch and a half or 2 inches at the longest. And so for
Wow.
years and years and years, she wore a wig. And I can remember the headstands in the bedroom with different kinds of wigs with different styles
Right. Sure.
and colors. And she'd put on whatever mood she was in. And, but hi again, Craig. Oh, Craig's here. And
Hi, Craig.
Hello, Craig.
so, so yeah, I grew up watching her put those things on her head. It's
I
like
think I
that's
would have nightmares in a room full of those things. It would scare me in the dark.
I can see me flying up the stairs again, like I did at the
Yeah. The armor.
yeah with the armor.
so. Now that I've caught my breath,
So
I
what are you
grab
going to do for
something to
your
eat.
full moon tonight? Anything? Are you going to go howl at the moon outside?
To me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't howl. At least not yet.
Maybe it's time you
I
learn.
We
guess
a
if
couple
I
of times
got
we used to
mad,
always go
maybe
out and howl at the moon.
I could. My neighbors already think I'm weird because I walk around and smudge all the doors and windows outside the house every full and new
Is there
moon.
something wrong with that?
No, there's not. But my neighbors look at me like I'm a crazy lady. they're like, "Oh my God, look, she's doing that thing again with the smoking
I know
stick."
our neighbors think we're witches.
Yeah,
We
but
have a
it's
lot
I
of
can't do
chimneys
it
around.
inside because my brother's allergic to incense,
Oh,
so I
we
can't
know
burn it in
both.
the house. So I have to go outside with it. And I didn't really think that much about it until a few weeks back when my son started having some nightmares. He never has nightmares,
Hmm.
and I mentioned it to someone, and they're like, "Well, are you smudging and cleansing and making sure nothing is coming in through what you're doing?" And I went, "I never thought about that." So I cleansed his room, and now I walk around and make sure I do that twice a month with the windows and the doors. Like I got to make sure I protect my family. So
Absolutely.
um, they're
Just
uh, they're
frequently.
very indulgent of me doing this. They all think I'm silly, but they're
If
guys.
it works,
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
they
My
don't believe
husband
in
used
it,
to
but I'm
call
like,
all this stuff silly. My husband would call it all woo woo until he became a psychic medium himself and went, "Oh,
yeah,
that's what that is."
oh yeah. The first time I had said something to my husband about an experience I'd had, he just looked at me funny. He said, "No, that doesn't exist." And I was like, yeah, it does exist.
Yeah, it does.
And there's no such things as ghosts. I said, "Yes, there are, and I've seen
And
one."
I've spoken to
So
several of them.
Heather
I've
speaks with
seen
ghosts.
several. It's like
Do
you
you
can
speak
believe
to
what you want to believe, but once you see it, nobody's going to change your mind. So yeah,
I used to have one visit me when I was sleeping as a little girl. It was
mm,
a lady who had been in the house before, and she was just checking to make sure I was okay. She evidently had a daughter of her own that she lost.
Oh,
uh,
So, but I would wake up and I'd see her standing at the foot of the bed, and I'm like, "Oh, it's you. Night."
doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
well, we've got suggestion from Lisa Rhodes.
No
Seen
dancing
in
naked in the
the
moonlight.
Well,
Okay,
I don't.
okay.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
I'm
about swimming in the moonlight naked? That's, in the fenced
or
yard.
dancing
That'll
in the
work.
moonlight, but
Yeah.
not naked.
Not naked. Not when you have neighbors.
uh-uh.
Not for sure. I want to know
Or
more about raising the vibe tribe. Who's that? Is a lovely, lovely
that
hashtag.
was the baby of Kelly, Dozen Cats for Me.
Dozen cats.
She came up with the concept, and she uh, contacted a group of us that she felt would kind of fit in
Raise
with
the
what
vibe.
with raising the vibe.
I
And
love that.
basically, her concept is just a group of like-minded people who we may all have different talents, do things different ways, but
Sure.
in our own way, we're all trying to raise the vibration. And so, get together and um, sharing some things that we do, different ways that we all approach it to try to raise the vibe. And when she
Beautiful.
asked me if I wanted to join the group, I'm jumping up and down, me. Yes, I'll do it. I thought it was great. So just one of her many ideas that she
I think it's
had,
a lovely idea.
Yeah.
and she,
Nice name
I,
too.
I don't know if she plans on rotating people in or out if someone like can't keep doing it, or um, if she plans on having maybe guests on. I've heard a lot of different ideas, but I've not heard her give anything like set in stone. Well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that.
Oh, I'm
So,
sure she'll come up with something interesting.
oh,
Without a
undoubtedly. I mean,
doubt.
um, Kelly is very good and she's very talented. And I feel
Yes.
very lucky to call her my friend. So we both kind of hit the airwaves about the same time. And while I was hanging back, scared to do anything because I didn't know what I was doing, she jumped in with both feet and said, "Let's do it." And boy, she started going and it just took off. So
That's great.
okay, that shows you how to go. So,
Right.
It's a big step. I didn't want to do this. The
yeah,
last thing I
it
wanted
is.
to do was go on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
I fought my guides for about a year and a half.
I know quite
before
a
I
few
would do it.
people that have said that. Yeah.
And yet it's just a wonderful community.
Mhm.
Oh, I know.
I love what I'm doing now.
And everybody's so friendly.
And
And supportive.
it is raising the vibe of the collective because there's so much love, unconditional love,
Unconditional love. Yeah.
and
Exactly.
it's very
Sending it
much
out.
unity consciousness.
Right. And it's
Yeah.
not just stuck in the community. Everybody is spreading it everywhere.
Right.
Because
It's like every week in a chat somewhere, because I'm a mod in most of them's chats now. And so I tend to have it running at work on one computer while I'm working on the other. So I'm kind of like keeping one eyeball on it. But every week I see a couple of new names pop up and show up. It's like, oh, we got a couple of new ones. So that's kind of fun. And
you
so,
just hit 500. That's brilliant.
I did.
Congratulations.
I am at, what was the number? I peaked just before we started. I'm at 518. I couldn't believe it. I was
Fantastic.
beside myself. And then 2 days had gone by and it still wasn't showing up on my page. So I went into YouTube to say, okay, well, how long does it take for it to kick in? And it said in there very clearly it could be up to a week before the tab becomes active. And so I did a little short video the other day when I hit the 500 mark. It said, as soon as the tab goes active, I'm going to do a post, and everybody that responds in that post, I'm going to put their name in a hat and draw for a free reading and give them a free 30-minute reading. So we'll see what happens.
So pay attention. Look for that post.
So yeah, pay attention. Click the notification bell and click all. That way you get all the notices when the people you want to watch come on, or when they put something on their page. Or I know it'll make it a lot easier just being able to let people know what you're doing, by having that community page. And a lot of times I'll catch things coming up that I might would have missed because they'll put a little blurb on their community tab and it'll pop in. And I'll go, oh, I need to mark that on my calendar or something. So and just trying to keep up with it all. And but I'm just having a ball with it. It's so much fun.
I know.
It's like, if it's fun anymore, I'll stop doing it. But as long as I'm having fun and I'm helping somebody somewhere, then
I know, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've done a few personal readings, not a whole lot yet. Still learning. But the few people I've done have all walked away and said, wow, you really hit it. So that made me feel good. It's like, okay, I guess I'm not as bad as I think I am.
Just take that validation and start believing in yourself a little more.
That's
constant learning all the time.
It is.
It is.
We never stop learning. As soon as you open one gift and start using it, all of a sudden something else comes in, and all of a sudden you're over here doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
The more you practice, the stronger it gets.
That's right.
Yeah.
So how many people out there are going to put crystals out for the moon?
Oh, I do.
How many in the chat room are going to be charging their crystals tonight? I've got a few I want to charge tonight for sure.
Yeah, I actually not too long ago, and I got it on Amazon for I think like under $5. I bought a little rose quartz charging plate, and it's even got little indentations. I don't know if you can really see it in the stone where you can set stones to not roll off, and so that definitely goes out to be charged.
Oh, no kidding.
That's cool.
I'll keep crystals on that, and I've got a couple of little, like the little ketchup bowls you see in the restaurants, I got those full of gems.
I have a little crystal bowl like that with just a few little things in it. But it's a little white crystal bowl, so it gets charged too, so it's perfect. Yeah,
I put my crystals out. I set my cards out. Half of my desk here is in front of the window where the moonlight comes in. So I'll set all my cards out and open the blinds so it can come through the window, because I don't want to set it outside. Somebody might walk off with
It
it.
comes right in my
Yeah.
bedroom window, so it lands right on me. Last night I woke up and it was like
Hello.
right in my room, and it was like, okay, I'm being charged.
Put water. I bought a
Yeah.
big jug of water. I put water up in the window so that
Perfect.
I can get some moon water.
Do you
And
drink the moon water, or do you water your plants, or what do
all
you
of the
use?
above. Yeah.
Whatever.
I've cleansed things with it.
Mhm.
I've got some in a spray bottle that I'll just kind of spritz around the room if I feel like it needs a little energy. I've got some
Great
drinking
idea.
bottles. I've got some drinking bottles. I'll pour the water in. I'll put
Mhm.
some in my plants outside. And but we almost always keep a bottle of water on our little patio table outside.
Mhm.
So I figure, well, it's already charged with moon water because it sits
Right.
outside all the time. So
Yeah.
I'll water the plants there. And
I don't know how much moonlight we're going to see tonight. We're expecting rain, I think.
Yeah, I think you're
It
right.
was pretty
you
cloudy
know,
last night
I
till
heard somebody ask on another channel, and this was months ago, and they were talking about full moon and stuff to do. And someone said, "Well, what if it's overcast or if it's storming and you don't see the moon?" And they're like, "It doesn't
still
matter.
there.
The moon is still there. It's
It's
the
still
power
there.
is still coming down. You just can't physically see it,
Yeah.
but it's still there. So continue to do what you would normally do." And so I was like, "Oh, well, that's cool to know. I didn't know that." And that makes a big difference. And
Right. We're going to get it anyway.
that's it. It's gonna zap you.
I think
So what all do y'all
another
do?
well, ritual baths too. I usually, well, tonight, last night, I made my first crystal grid. I've never tried it before, and I decided I wanted to release some things. And tonight, I'm going to take it, write it down, exactly what I
Yeah, that's a
wrote for
good
my grid.
idea.
And I'm going to take it tonight and burn it under the light of the moon.
Right.
Things that
So
you don't need anymore.
things I want to get rid of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. That's what we're going to do. But there's always ritual baths, candles, and incense, and journaling.
I've got a big tall dragon incense burner, one of the backflow where you can put the
Oh,
little cones and the smoke doesn't go up, it'll go down and like
Right.
go out the
Sitting on
dragon's
top of
mouth.
oh, I
Yeah.
love
Looks
it.
really cool. And
I
I'll
love
bring that
dragon.
outside and burn incense on it. And then I've got my smudging incense that I'll use, some white sage and some
Mhm.
green sage, and then usually I'll put my crystals. If I'm going to be up for a while, I'll sit outside with them and I'll set them out on the patio. And then I'll bring them inside and put them in the windowsill or set them on my desk.
Right.
And with my cards and try to put them all out. I just got a new deck. Um, an anonymous donor
Lovely.
bought me cards and sent me. It's an oracle deck called Witch's Wisdom.
Ooh,
Mhm.
fun.
And it's really the cards are gorgeous. The artwork is really pretty. The book is like I've barely even opened the book yet, but I got them all sitting out.
It looks like they're all ready to charge.
All
Yeah.
ready to get clean.
That's great.
Yeah.
That way I can clean them and
Well, I did
start
a
to-
very unusual cleansing of some that I wanted to use before the full moon. I read that you could clean them with sage, but to be sure and get it all around the stone. So my toaster oven has a little,
I
not a
saw that
grill.
picture you posted.
It's a dry fry. It's just a net.
So I just put them all on there. It took me 3 trays, mind you. And I put the incense on a brass ashtray. I put white sage and some sweetgrass and lit it and stuck it in there. And you could just see the smoke billowing
I
everywhere.
saw the pictures you posted. I thought, what a good idea. I never would have thought of that.
It does a lot of them at one time, and it does them quickly.
Well, Miss Tarot D was talking last night about he'll spray. He's got a peacock feather fan,
I saw that.
and isn't it gorgeous?
Mhm.
And he opens it up and he spritzes his Florida water on it,
Right.
and then he'll wave that over his cards and his stones
Yeah, that's
to
very good. Yeah.
brush away the negativity. And I
Oh,
saw
we
somebody else.
also have our little bell
Yeah,
that we can use.
I've got I just
Singing
got one of
bowls.
these a
Singing
Yeah.
bowl.
Tibetan singing bowl, and so when I'm reading or something in between, I'll give it a little tap just to kind of clear the air. And I took a shamanic journey class with Bathrobe Tarot Danny.
Danny.
Annie.
And in the second day in class, he was like, "Okay, you have to have a rattle." I'm like, "Where the hell am I going to get a rattle?" I didn't know what to do. And so I started thinking about it. And I said, "I'll make one." So I took a pill bottle. And I put some stones in it. My son got this dowel and screwed a dowel into it through the bottom.
It works.
But yet I can still take the top off and change out the stones if I want to.
That's
And put
cool.
like different stones in it.
Sure, whatever crystals you want at the
I've
time.
got some material that belonged to my mother because she was a quilter and a seamstress. And I saved a few pieces of her material. And I'm going to cover it with that. And I know when I showed it to Danny, and he was like, "Huh." He says, "That's pretty cool." He says, "I like that idea."
Well, remember, you can also get gourds at the grocery store now because it's the fall. And I've done the same thing by taking rocks and drilling out the end of a gourd and filling it up with little stones.
Oh, I never, yeah. That's a
So
good
you can
idea.
do that as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
Medicine
try
bottle.
that.
Brilliant. Who doesn't have medicine bottles around their house?
Exactly.
Me, who has 3 alarms set on my phone for morning, noon, and night to take a batch of pills for each one.
Wow, I haven't gone down the road where I'm actually reminding myself to take my pills. Yikes.
No, it's my morning and night tray and my noontime tray.
I hear you.
And I didn't do it last night because we were on so long. And by the time we got off, I was dead to the world. I got up this morning. I went, "Oh, I didn't fix my trays," because I usually do it Saturday night because it starts on Sunday. So I'll be doing that tonight and get that done.
I did mine this morning. Sunday morning is my morning for it.
Yeah. Well, I would have done it this morning, but I had family show up unexpectedly for the morning and lunchtime. So my whole day kind of got thrown off of my schedule of what I was going to do when. So I've been just kind of winging it all afternoon. And
that's pretty much sometimes all you can do.
That's it.
Yeah.
Winging it is a story of my life, it seems. It's plans never work.
Well, you pretty much wing it when you're living this way with trying to
going with the flow.
Going with the flow.
Riding the wave or whatever.
Yeah,
you're winging it. You never know what's going to happen next. It's when you try to control it, you get in trouble.
Exactly.
Isn't that the truth? And
so winging it is a really good thing to do anyway.
So you got lots of practice. So it's a good thing.
lots of practice. Now, are y'all practicing Wiccan or no? Okay, you just use terminology for some of it.
Could be, yes. I don't know where I get the terminology necessarily, but
well,
no,
we're not. There's the crone is one of the 3 stages of divine feminine energy in Wicca.
Maiden Mother and Crone, but that goes far beyond Wicca.
Right. But I mean, I had only heard it with that. And so I didn't know.
Well, when you look
I've
at
heard it with other things now too, but
right.
Yeah. If you
before I got into all of this, I had only heard it attached to Wiccan religion.
Well, and usually it was a Crone's a nag, an old hag, whatever. And we
But
decided we
even
wanted to change
even
that.
hags are considered to be wise women, or they used to be until certain
Christianity
folks
showed
decided
up.
they did right. They wanted to
Till we went from
downplay
the
women,
divine
so
feminine
they
to the
made
divine
it a
masculine.
negative term, but it wasn't originally. It was
No, they were the
complimentary.
healers.
Right.
They were the ones that the community would go to for
Yes.
Exactly.
help, for prayers, for
It's
medicine.
way past Wiccan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, we don't. We are nothing.
Nothing,
We just
exactly.
believe in the divine.
Spiritual.
We're
The
just
closest thing is the
spiritualists, I
Just
guess.
spiritual. That's what I am. Yeah. It's like I took a little from here and a little from there and a little from over here, and
Yes,
whatever
What we
seems to
know.
fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever
It's what
seems
you
to
know
fit.
personally.
I grew
Yeah.
up Episcopalian. I left the church real quick. Then I studied, did a little bit of study in college on religions of the world, and decided they were all about control, and I didn't want any part of that. So that was the extent of my life in the church.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, I was an atheist for a long time.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't like the term God, the way God
Yeah.
had been used. So
Yeah.
I'm actually at
And
the point where I
abused.
can, abused.
abused.
My mother was not a religious person. She didn't believe in organized religion, but she was a spiritual person.
Exactly.
And I know the few times I would hear somebody ask her about, well, what about God? And Mom said, well, I have no problem with her. I think she's fabulous. You know,
For her, proud of your mom.
People would look at her like, oh my God. So, I mean, in high school, my two best friends, one was Jewish, one was Catholic. So Friday nights, we all went to temple together. And Sunday morning, we'd all go to mass.
I love it. I love it.
So I figured, hey, I'm getting both ends of the Bible. Can't go
You're safe.
wrong.
Exactly.
I got it covered. When my son was young, I got sucked into the Southern Baptist cult.
Mm.
Oh my Lord.
Did that for about 10 years before I woke up and smelled coffee, or more like smelled the brimstone, and said, okay, it's time to get out of this. This is not healthy at all. And walked away from all of it. And lost a lot of what I thought were friends because of it. Because I was like, I just can't follow this or believe this anymore, because it's just not right. The way they treat people, it's just not right, in my opinion. And
I agree.
So I always, now if people ask me, I just tell them I believe in the Force. Maybe when Kenobi explained it, I believe in the Force. Then they really don't know what to say to me.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
I said that
Those
to
who
Jehovah's
understand,
Witness one time, and
that's great.
I thought they were going to have a stroke on sight. The Jehovah's Witnesses that come knock on your door.
We
And
had those too. I
I
told
had
them
to
I'm
come to
making
the door and,
they go away.
well, you have to believe in Jesus and God. And I'm like, I don't have any problem with Jesus. I don't have any problem with God. I said, but I believe in the Force. I blew their minds. They didn't know what to say. And I said, so thank you very much. Goodbye. And I shut the door on them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't have the time or the energy for the nonsense you're peddling. And
Right. They're not the only ones that do that, but I agree with you.
oh no, the Mormons are bad too.
Yeah.
They will come pester the living daylights out of you.
Well, I had one for a boyfriend, and he kept sending people around, and I finally told him, look, if you want to see me, that's fine, but you send any more of them around and you won't. So
I dated a guy who was a Jehovah's Witness back the year before high school. I didn't know what a Jehovah's Witness was, but we went out on a couple of dates. He seemed like a nice person. And then the next thing you know, I'm getting a phone call from his mother telling me what a sinner I was, and I had to do this and I had to do that, or I was going to burn in hell. And I was like, I don't know who you are, lady, but I'm perfectly fine. And maybe you're the one that's going to burn in hell. And I hung up the phone on her. Needless to say, I didn't see the sun anymore either. So I figured that was a close call, and a good escape. Although my mother got furious when I told her about it. So I don't know if she said anything to her or not, but she didn't tolerate nonsense. So something like that would set her off. And but I'm trying to think any other. Now y'all do mostly Facebook, or you do a lot of YouTube? Both.
Yeah.
We do
Both.
YouTube Tuesdays and
Mhm.
Saturdays at 3
Okay.
p.m. Eastern, twice
Okay.
a week, and we pick a different subject. And then we do Fridays and Sundays, sometimes invite guests on the show. So they can
Or
tell
our
us all
guests.
about, yeah, so they can be our guests and tell us
I'll
what
be
they
on in a couple of weeks. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to that. My brain is mush this afternoon. I'm trying to think of questions I was going to ask y'all, and it's like gone. See, I was going to write all that out today. And
Well, what do you want to know about us? You want to
Yeah.
know how we got started? You want to know
there you
where
go.
we came from?
How did you meet? How did you get started? What
That's
Heather-
easy.
drew you to do this
Heather and I
kind of thing?
met in 2012 in Texas. I lived on a ranch. I was raising gypsy cow horses that I imported from England when I moved back from England. My husband was English. And we opened a wellness center in 2010. I had taken training from Eric Pearl's Reconnection, the
Mhm.
Reconnective Healing. I had been studying metaphysical stuff, and I kept getting this message: "You're a healer. You're a healer." And I'm like, "No, I was a nurse. I don't want to touch people anymore. I don't want anything to do with it." And it nagged me until I did something about it. Because in Eric Pearl's Reconnective Healing, you don't have to touch anyone.
Ah,
So I started doing that, working on my horses, which was phenomenal. Working on my husband who had heart disease. I would work on anybody that would allow me to work on them. And then I opened a wellness center because we called it the Goddess Center, because our friend had a shop and we'd all been going down there for classes and different things to do with metaphysics. And they had to close the shop. So we decided to open a wellness center and invited people in that had different healing modalities. And I set up my reconnective healing. And then a couple of years into it, Heather walked through the door.
Yeah, she would have fairs, metaphysical fairs.
yeah.
Psychic fairs like every
Yeah.
quarter. For a
Yeah,
while,
when I
we were-
lived in Phoenix, there was like a spirit shop there, and they would do stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. I did it about one. I guess we started doing it once a month, and then we kind of pulled back. But we had yoga, and we had classes like on essential oils. I learned how to use essential oils, how to mix them, how to make things, and I fell in love with that. So I had a product line for a while of those things. And then in 2012, Heather came and
Yeah.
to a psychic fair that I was having.
Yeah, I was looking for someplace else to go besides where I was going in the area
Mhm.
because I also am a healer. I also did a bunch of astrology, but it's not my forte. I do other
Right.
things more. And I knew that I wanted to heal, and there was another healer that it was very difficult to get started when he was already there. So I was looking for someplace else, and every time I turned on my computer, her place come up. I did it 3 times. I said, "Okay, I'm going," so
Synchronicity.
synchronicities.
Spirit's
So
like, I
that's
want
how
you to go here.
Exactly.
exactly. They were telling me exactly what to do. So yes, I showed up.
And my husband met her, and he said, "You two are supposed to work together." And we were like, "No, I don't think so. I don't even know that person. I don't want to work with her."
And she was a solo act.
But so we got the girls that did yoga at the studio with us. There were about 8 of them, I think, that we
Yeah.
worked on that day. We just
It was
decided to
funny.
try to work together because David was adamant that we needed to be doing this. And we had phenomenal results. We pulled a hatchet out of a woman's back that had been there for 2 lifetimes. She had been
Wow.
killed as an Indian brave
And an arrow.
and an arrow. It just was so phenomenal. We both were kind of, okay, I guess we are supposed to be doing this. So we got together and started working together, and we came up with our own technique that was called evolution therapy, and we still do that. We've been doing remote work since the pandemic.
Way before then, even, but more.
But more so, I mean, it's only remote now that we do any of that of the healing work. But we've had incredible results, and like I said, we've been working together for about 12 years now, 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then my guides told me, you guys need to spread your love on YouTube. And I'm like, you are joking. I'm an introvert. I have no desire to go live anywhere.
So she set conditions.
So I set conditions. I said, if you want me to, you got to send somebody that knows what they're talking about, because I don't know anything about YouTube. All I do is watch the psychics on there. I know nothing about it or how to do anything like that. I haven't worked in a computer since I retired. So send me an expert. About 6 weeks later, Heather and I sat down next to two guys in a restaurant and started chatting to them, because they were about as close to us as we are right now.
I mean, it was close sitting.
It was a close setting. And he said, hi, my name's David. I own a new radio station here. And I used to do, I was a producer for the news in LA. And girl, I got chills head to toe. We became best friends immediately. I mean, and we walked out of there, and I said, you know who that is, right? These two guys. And she said, well, what are you talking about? I said, they're the ones that are here for our channel.
Uh-huh.
And
So
I never
they set
said
everything
anything
up.
about it to them or anything. I just, because we were becoming friends.
Right.
And about 6 weeks after that, one of them said, ooh, mentioned something. I said, oh, we're supposed to start this YouTube channel. And he was like, oh, we can do that. We can help you do that. And boom, that was in October and February we went live. So that's our story.
Awesome.
It was quick.
Yeah.
But I got just full body chills when he told me what he did. And I just knew that's who it was. And sure enough,
supposed to do it.
and he literally came through, lived in Key West for about a year and a half, and is now gone back to Palm Springs, where he owns a radio station, a dance station there, dance disco station there. But he set us up professionally with a studio in our front room and everything. Our front room was our guest room and Heather's art studio. Now it's got a 60-inch TV, ring light, 4-point lighting, green screen, all that stuff. And we were just standing back going, what in God's name have we gotten into? What am I doing? And yet here we are today.
Yeah. My son's a gamer as well as a musician. And so his room is set up like a studio. And the very first show I was invited on was more like just an interview type thing with Allie from Heart and Soul Connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know.
And he got so into, we're going to do it. We'll do it in my room. Let me set you up. And I mean, he had lights and cameras and all. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, they stopped. I mean, I mute for a second.
We understand that.
Yeah, we understand. It's because of the wires. I don't want my dog in here. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, well, we all live together. Me, my son, my brother, and his son. And so my bedroom is half of the living room.
Right.
And so when I decided, yeah, I'm going to do this, and they realized I was serious, my brother put runners up on the ceiling, and I ordered the special curtains, thermal curtains, so I can open and close my walls,
right,
depending on how I want them to kind of block everything out. And my son set me up with the camera and the computer, the microphone, the So I just sit in my bedroom now, and this is what I do. And
It's great,
on
isn't it?
one side, you can see all my junk. If I can cover it there. The other side, you
No,
can see my bed.
That's everything to go out for the full moon. It's all good.
It is. It's all my, well, most of my cards. I got to finish setting all the others out. And, but yeah, so that's it. And I just started, I mean, I found this community back right after the lockdown hit.
Mm-hmm.
I just lost my mom. And, God, thank God I didn't lose my job. My boss just sent me home with the computer and said, well, do what you do at home. Because I spend all day in spreadsheets anyway. So, and I just started watching YouTube, and
I loved your spreadsheet for the tarot cards. I thought that was a brilliant idea.
I was desperate. It was like I would watch myself trying to read and having to stop and flip through papers. I'm like, okay, no, this isn't going to work. So I thought, well, Sherry, you work in spreadsheets all day, just put it in a spreadsheet. So that's what I did. And yeah, it works real easy now because I could just click a few clicks and it'll bring me right to the card I want.
Have you ever thought about selling that?
Well, maybe I should.
I bet you would find a market.
I think you would, especially
I'm sure.
I'm sure. Crowd.
And
everybody wants to learn.
That's it. I mean, I was just trying to make it as unobtrusive looking and as simplistic as I could to make it easy on myself. And but I started watching YouTube. I came across Diane from Diane's Tarot and started watching her, and I was like, political tarot, liberal political tarot exists? Who knew? Mind blown.
It's everywhere.
And I was
mostly liberal.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You don't see too many
right wing
tarot card readers, if any. We're all
not tarot readers. You do astrologists.
Yeah.
And because I was, that's probably how she got on my feed was I would watch astrology, something or other. You can like get a daily horoscope and and they would do these little weekly video clips where he would like give us a summation for the week coming up, kind of what you expect. And I don't know anything about astrology except I'm a Gemini. And then this past year I discovered I have an Aquarius moon and Aries rising. I don't know what that means. I take it I'm a triple Aries, so
I can't help you. I'm not an astrologer. Yeah, I know what my chart is. But
I know when I was doing astrology,
I had a chart done,
and so I could do that.
Yeah, I had a chart done, and I had a star seed chart done where it tells you what planet system you're from, and
where are you from?
From before any of them were around, is what I was told. That's how old I am. It's like you were before these others, so you're like a part of all of them because you're that old. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means, but
Jerry,
okay,
I've had the same experience. Yes.
Yeah,
I understand totally because I've had that same experience.
Yeah,
I'm all of them because I was here from the beginning.
Yeah, that's basically what I was.
I sure wish I could remember some of that stuff. You know, that power stuff.
Maybe
that goddess stuff. I like that.
Years ago, before the pandemic ever hit, I had my palms read by a psalmist who was certified through some prestigious psychic university type place in England. And yeah, and she read my palms, and the first thing she said was, "You are the oldest soul I've ever seen." She said, "Look at your palms. It's nothing but lifelines crisscrossing all over your hands." And I'm like,
interesting.
I just thought they were wrinkles. And she said, "No, they're not." And so I said, well, you'd think I'd learn my lesson if I'm that old. Why do I have to keep
Why do
coming
you
back?
keep coming back?
Right.
And she said, because you're teaching. And I went, okay, but I'm not a teacher. And she's like, you're teaching. And I'm okay. I wasn't going to argue with her.
When you think about it, the way you live your life is teaching those around you. The way that
It
you treat
is. Yeah,
a job, the way that you treat the
Mhm.
grocer.
One person at a
One
time.
person at a time is all it takes. Shine
exactly.
the light.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm the one. I walk in my building and I can say hello to all the janitors and housekeepers in the building by name. I make a point of telling them good morning every day. I know all our maintenance crew.
And that's you shining your light, young lady. That's
Yeah,
exactly what you're doing, spreading the light. And
that's,
everybody get out there and do what she's doing. It's the best.
yeah,
Spread the light.
that's not
Isn't
only
it?
that, but if
It's amazing
something
to
gets
see the reaction.
broken or spilled, and if you're friends with housekeeping and maintenance, you pick up a phone and say, "Hey, Joe, such and such broke," and they're like, "Oh, hey, don't worry, I'll be right there," and they come right over and they
Mhm.
take care of you. So it's kind
Well,
of a
I did
two-way
used to
street.
be in
But
education, and I always said good morning to kids, no
yeah,
matter who they were, especially those that didn't get hello very often, because
yeah,
sometimes it's the only nice thing they have happen
yeah.
all
I work
day.
at a university now, so
Yeah.
yeah, I've got faculty and students from around the globe because I work in the computer science department. So
Right.
I have people from all different cultures, which is fascinating to me. I love to talk to the kids and
Me too.
Hmm.
tell me about your culture. Tell me what you do. How is it different from this part of Turkey, from that part of Turkey, and that kind of thing. And
That is the perfect place to be
Hmm.
the teacher.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, um,
Place to be.
I'm not a teacher. I'm a secretary, but that's
You're
You're
okay too.
teaching.
teaching. You're
I'm
You're
still
teaching.
still
teaching,
teaching.
so I'm still, I became this year. I became a member of the Project Allies, they call it on campus, which is you become part of a group that offers safe space
Oh,
for
I love
any LGBTQ students
Hmm.
who feel harassed or threatened or anything like that. They gave us like a special thing we can put on our door. So when they see it, they know I can go there and I'm safe. And, no one will bother me there.
Do you have
And
any issues at the college?
I'm sorry,
Do you have any issues with the LGBTQ?
not not real bad, which is
Good.
surprising considering I'm in the deep south. But most most people pretty much kind of whatever, they don't really
I find that with the
with,
younger
with, the, with, the,
generation,
with the younger generation today, it's like they don't really care. They're
they're
like,
not judgmental like us.
yeah, they're like whatever, do what you do. Um, there are those rare occasions, when stuff happens,
Sure.
but I've never known of any really serious altercations of any
Good.
kind. But I liked the idea of this group physically putting something up to declare this is
Absolutely.
a safe space.
Right.
And when the information came out about the group, I went to our director and I said, I really think this is important because we deal with kids from cultures that this this lifestyle could get them killed.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
we need to establish that this is a safe space for them to come and be, because maybe they just had a big fight with mom and dad on the phone for whatever reason,
Mhm.
because they're there to learn what mom and dad tells them they're there to learn, because mom and dad's paying for everything, including them coming to another country across the ocean. So, and he was all for it. He was like, "Yeah, do it, go for it." So that's what I mean. I've since then I've become friends with several of the students of the LGBTQ community who know that they can come in and just come visit.
Good.
10 minutes, 20 minutes, pop in, raid the candy jar on my desk and talk for a few minutes and then out the door they go. So it's like
Right.
if that gives you respite, then that's what I'm here for. And Lord knows there were times growing up I wish I would have had a place to go where I didn't feel bullied.
That's the truth.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gay, but I don't have any issues with
neither
those.
are we.
You know,
No.
several of my best
Our best friends are gay.
Yeah, I was going to say several of my best friends over the years have been. In fact, I just reconnected a couple of years back with a friend that I used to work with 35, almost 40 years ago. And we refound each other on Facebook, and it's been fabulous.
That's one of the
now we
good
can.
things about Facebook. I can't say a lot of nice things about Facebook, but that's one of them. I've
That's one
reconnected
of
with
them.
several old
Yeah.
friends through Facebook.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that part of it.
Yeah, myself. And so I just kind of stumbled into this community during lockdown, and I just sat and watched for the longest time. I didn't chat. I didn't
Us
talk to
too.
anybody
That
because
sounds like us.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing in the chat rooms. It was like, I can't believe that all these people are actually this nice to each other.
I know
Because
supporting.
in a lot of chats you go in, you see a lot of meow at each other. And it really took me by surprise. And then
Well, and another thing is we have great moderators that can
we do. We
give
do.
other people.
And
I was so excited when we reached the number we could have a moderator. Oh, they're wonderful.
oh, I know.
Yes.
Thank God for it. And I mod on a bunch of channels myself, and it's like, even if I can't really follow what's going along, I got it up and open so that if I see something pop up, I can jump on it. Sharon Sipe usually gets to them before I can, but
extraordinaire.
She's like
moderator extraordinaire.
Moderator.
She's everywhere.
Excellence.
Yeah.
So,
I think she has
and Ruth.
octopus arms.
Yeah, she and Ruth.
Yeah, and Ron Unconditional Love.
Yes, he's always everywhere too.
When I was first made a moderator, I was like, what's a moderator and what am I doing? And the host said, talk to Ron. He's in the chat. He'll tell you what to do. And I'm like, okay. But it was like once I finally opened up and spoke up and said, hey, I'm here, I was just inundated with people just chatting with me. And I would pop into a chat on a live stream and say hi, and 20 people would respond, and it would be like, damn, I wasn't
I know. It's
wasn't
fabulous.
expecting that.
It's great. Yeah. It's a great family.
It's a great feeling. And it came along at a time in my life when I really needed that family just kind of bubble surrounding you,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
support.
And so I
We
mean,
have somebody that wants to know what's up with your cough.
this is from neck surgery. I had 4 vertebrae fused in my neck.
The cough itself or just the raspy?
The raspy, that's what causes it. When they do cervical fusions, they go through the front, not through the back. And when they go through the front, they got to push all this stuff out of the way. And in the process, the esophagus and my trachea were both damaged. And so now I sound growly. I have some days where it's a lot smoother. I have some days when it's a lot growlier.
Well, the longer the day goes on, probably it's
In
worse.
the morning, it tends to sound smoother. By the end of the day, I sound like somebody talking with a mouthful of gravel. Which is why you keep seeing me take a drink, trying to wet my throat down. But it can't be fixed. It can't be helped. So
right,
you live with it. But hey, I can turn my head. I couldn't do that for years. So it was nice to be able to turn my head, not my whole body, to see what was
next. That's true. I'm sure that's true.
Yeah. I know some of them, when I get really bad, I'll see in the chat, take a sip, Sherry.
Well, that's nice. They're watching. They got your back.
They got my back. They'll tell me, take a drink. I can't understand you.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, and it just, so that really, I can't control it anymore. It is what it is. And,
I understand.
And the cough is allergies. I have nonstop running sinuses, allergies.
That I understand.
Down the back of my throat. I take a prescription allergy pill at night. I have a prescription nose spray that I use twice a day. I have an allergy tablet I take midday just to try to keep it at bay because it's living down here when all the things that bloom, it's nonstop and it's year round. It doesn't really die off in the winter down here because it doesn't get cold enough. When I moved to Phoenix, when I moved to Phoenix, I thought, when I first went to Phoenix, I thought, oh, I wanted to deal with allergies anymore. Who knew I'm allergic to mesquite trees? They're everywhere. So I just traded in one set of allergens for another set. So it's still the same.
Sure.
But
no matter where I've lived, I've always had allergies.
Right.
It didn't matter where.
Yeah. So I have a cough, a constant little cough that I do all the time because they just drain, and the growl, and I can't control either one. It just is what it is, and I deal with it. And like I said, and yeah, I see Cherie's asking me, your bronchial tubes are very congested. Yeah, they stay that way just about year round. And my doctor is very concerned. He's the one that's got me on all the different medications. In fact, they just changed me to a different nose spray that I have to have a prescription just to fill. So, because it's got the antihistamine stuff in it that you can't buy over the counter anymore. So,
ridiculous, these walls.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen that big of a difference. But anyway, more money to go to the pharmaceutical companies.
Right? That's a whole nother show.
Yes, Lord.
Healthcare.
Right.
And where y'all are?
Healthcare.
Y'all are in Texas, you said?
No, we're in Key West.
We're in Key West.
Oh, in Key West. Okay. Oh, well, you just got
moved from Texas, but
that's where my husband died. Heather and I moved here, retired down here.
We were all planning on being here, but
I highly recommend retiring with your bestie. It's great.
Yeah, after my husband died is when I went to Phoenix. I'd never been out west. I'd never seen the desert. Didn't know anybody. Just said, that's it, I'm leaving. And I left.
Well, we had all planned on coming down, and he had looked before down here. He just wasn't well enough to make it with us.
Yeah. And that was my husband used to talk about, well, when we retire, we're going to be storm chasers, and you're going to operate the camera, and I'll drive. And I'm like, are you crazy?
That's the last thing I wanted to do.
He wanted to be a storm chaser. So Spirit took him before he could make me get on the road. So
I wonder if he's storm chasing on the other side.
I'm sure he is. Either that or he's playing baseball. One of the.
I know my husband's fishing. He's fishing with my dad a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There was
fish. I don't get it, but okay.
You could not ask a baseball question that he could not answer. I don't care how far back you went. One year for, I think it was Christmas, I bought what they call a baseball encyclopedia. It was like this thick, the book, big old huge book. And it was nothing but stats in it. From like the beginning of time to whatever that current year was. Of nothing but baseball stats. That man would spend hours in that book reading it and going over it. It was like, I don't get it.
I don't either.
I played baseball when I was a teenager, but
playing a game and watching it on TV is two different things.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. And unless somebody gets pissed at the pitcher and throws their bat at them, it's not a very exciting game to me.
Boring.
I went to one when I was a kid, a live one in Jersey. We actually went to the New York Yankees at one of their games. That was the most boring thing I'd ever done in my life.
Yeah. I agree.
And I never went back.
Rangers. I went with a couple of girlfriends to Texas Rangers. The game was boring as hell, but it was really fun watching the people. We had a great time because it was a group of friends. We just drank beer and ate hot dogs and had a fun time. I would never go to another.
No, and I
Baseball
was too
game.
young to be.
I mean, I loved to play it when I played the game when I was younger. You know, I played baseball and softball and volleyball, and I was very athletic. But to just sit and watch it, no, it's just.
I
And
like
my
golf.
husband,
Like golf.
he
I like
either
golf.
he was either watching sports or he was watching the Weather Channel, that or the History Channel. Those were his three channels that he watched religiously every day, all day. That's what he did. And he was determined we're going to be storm chasers. And I was like, no, we're not. That's what he wanted to do. So I had pretty much resigned to the fact that I guess I'm going to be a storm chaser when I retire. Then he died. So I was like, okay, great. I don't have to do that. And so, yeah. I mean, I worked in the medical field for 30 plus years. I got tired of being bled on and peed on, so I left. Now I'm in education, and I don't know which is worse.
Different.
Different kind of bleeding.
Yeah, exactly. But I enjoy it. I like being around the kids. They make me feel young, and they get the biggest kick out of the fact that Miss Sherry is a YouTuber, and they just can't get over that. Then I'm on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, it's fun. You ought to try it.
It is fun.
And so, and that's, I just, I've always had an interest in paranormal type
Ooh, me
ghost
too.
hunting, although I would never want to go ghost hunt because I'm too chicken, but I like to watch it. But I've always been interested in all the other stuff, getting psychic readings or astrology, or although I don't understand astrology at all, I've had people try to explain it to me, and I'm like, halfway through it, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever.
It's complicated.
It's like
You
going
lost
to
me
college.
5 minutes into your
It's,
explanation.
it's difficult. I will
Yeah.
say that.
It's mathematical, and my brain doesn't process math. So,
Well, even with they have computer programs now that'll put it all out there, but you still have to interpret it.
yeah, and it's
Just
lines and dots, and it's
kinds
like,
of
I don't know what the hell I'm
interpretations.
looking at.
That's difficult.
Yeah.
Not my forte. There's too many good ones out there, like
Right.
Molly McCord and
Pam.
Pam Gregory in England. She's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And,
Heather Ensworth. I don't know. I don't know a lot of them, but those are the ones we watch.
I know, I don't know if y'all have ever watched him. I know Hogarth. I don't know if y'all have ever watched Hogarth. He does Vedic astrology.
Right.
We watch Joni Patry that does Vedic astrology.
Yeah, I think he's mentioned her. I know he talks about somebody else that he kind of learned it from. But
Yeah,
he's just fun to watch. He's just a great guy. He's over in England, and so he's English and Jamaican, I think it is. And so that I love to just listen to his accent in the beginning. That's what drew me in. It was just to listen to him talk, because but he's funny. I like to watch him. And then Andre, I guess.
Oh, Andre's
Astrology
wonderful.
Alert. I watch him.
He's brilliant.
He breaks it down in a way that I actually understand what he's talking about.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And his sister's very interesting too.
Yes. I've watched her do a couple of with him, and it's like, wow.
Although she talks so fast, I have a hard time following her sometimes. But she does. She's amazing too.
Yeah.
The whole family's astrologers.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean,
I bet they had some really interesting supper conversations.
Really holiday conversations.
I'm sure. But yeah, so I started chatting and talking, and then Cartomancy Mesquite one day in chat said, "Send me your address." And I'm like, "Why?" And because I'm sending you tarot cards. You're supposed to be a tarot card reader.
Oh, how sweet.
I'm like, "I am." And she said, "Yes, you are. And give me your address."
Lovely.
So I sent her my address, and she sent me 2 decks of cards. I'm like, okay. And I just
Now what?
now what? Exactly. That was my first thought. What do I do with these? I just sat and stared at them for about 2 weeks. I didn't know what to do with them. And then I slowly started looking at them and going through them. And then I I would read with people that were reading on the TV, on the YouTube, and I would sit here and I would draw cards and, oh well, look, I got the same card they got, and oh, that's what that means, and I just kind of went from there and started opening that old rusty door, and once it started creaking
Look
open,
what happened.
Yeah.
now I didn't want to start. Now I didn't want to stop. So then the next thing I know, I'm starting a YouTube channel, and like everybody else, I was like, really? You want me to do YouTube?
I understand.
Mhm.
It's like,
Oh,
been
yes. Cherie says Braca Goldsmith is one of her master astrologers I follow. We do too. We like
Yeah.
Braca. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. I've heard that name before. Yeah. So I don't
She
think
and Pat Gregory do, I think maybe once a month, maybe once a quarter, they do a show together, and that's always phenomenal.
Yeah, and they definitely like each other's work. I think they do a little bit different, so it's not competitive. It's always very complimentary.
Yeah.
When they're doing their shows.
Who is it she reads with?
I'm sorry?
Who is she reads with? Who does she
Pam
do?
Gregory.
Pam Gregory.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Goldsmith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think one's in England and the other one's in Italy. I think Brock's in Italy.
No, she's in Greece.
Oh,
Braca's in
Greece. Okay, I was wrong. It's further down.
She's Greece, yeah.
And that's another thing I love about this community is you've got people from all over the place
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
really
that just seem to just click and just fit right into those slots with each other. It's like, wow.
it is amazing.
You know, it's amazing to sit and be talking to somebody in Australia this morning, and then at lunchtime I'm yakking to somebody from India or somewhere, and then at night I'm somebody in California, and it's like, you know, where do you? That's not normal. It's like
It's a
without the
small world.
lockdown, I never would have met people from around the world, except for the
That's
few.
true. I agree.
I agree.
You know, so I always looked at it as, well, maybe it's a good thing. It allowed us to,
Go in.
while it shut us in, it allowed us to open the doors
Allowed us to go in.
to truly be global, you know, and see how other people live and function, and what their priorities are, I guess, in life. So,
And what your priorities, that's what I found. We went in, we started doing shadow work. We went inside and started healing ourselves. And
Mhm.
I started channeling and all kinds of crazy things during the pandemic.
yeah, you see, I've kind of tiptoed around shadow work and have been kind of scared to jump in. I have a guest coming on the end of the month that she does extensive shadow work stuff, and so it's like I went and I made a printout of the book she uses and everything. It's like, okay, I'm gonna wait for her, and then I guess I'm gonna dive right in and see what I discover. So
Sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you just
Happens.
need to do it.
yeah,
It starts happening before you realize it's happening.
yeah, and I think there have been points in my life when I probably actually have done it and just didn't know that that's what I was
Of
doing.
course.
Exactly.
And,
I'm sure that's true with everybody.
yeah. So, but a lot of, you know, once I finally got past the fear of doing this on my own, so to speak, it was like, okay, now I want to invite everybody that sparks an interest in me and just
I know, right?
be able to talk to them. And it can get frustrating sometimes trying to get schedules to meet up, but all in all, it's just been a blast, you know.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's funny when I, you know, get hold of somebody and it's like they're busy then and they're busy then and I'm busy then and I'm busy then, and
I
it's
understand.
trying to get those slots because I still work full time, so I'm limited time of when I'm available to do
I don't know
things.
how you do it
Yeah,
because
no.
we're retired.
And we spend a lot of our time research.
Yeah, we do a lot of research
Yeah.
for
And
show,
writing.
so
Yeah,
yeah, it takes a long, it takes a while, but
It
it's
takes
so much
effort.
fun. I don't mind, and I learned so much when I'm researching
Yeah.
for the show.
Mhm.
And I learned from the chat room. So many people in the chat room have such great information and experience that
oh, I know
they share is fantastic.
Mhm.
I love the interaction in chat because it just people come up with ideas and it's just like
Mhm.
I never thought of that. I
I
never
know.
thought of it that way, or I didn't realize I could do it like that kind of thing. So
Exactly.
um, and it's just been really interesting. It's been a lot just fun, like y'all were saying. It's just been a lot of fun. And
Yes.
and then I saw
Wait,
y'all on
it's 8:15.
So we
We've
just
run
an hour
over.
and 10 minutes. So if y'all have a time you want to wrap it up, just
I'm
say
afraid we do.
yeah, well, we're gonna need to.
My
and
stomach's calling.
We haven't eaten yet.
yeah, I hear you. And I went over with Craig, and so I was like, my bladder was about to burst. I literally like,
I
okay, we
bet.
gotta stop. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Holding it for 2 hours. You did good.
You did very good.
I don't do that very often anymore at this age. I mean, it's like when I hit my 60s, my bladder quit working right.
I hear you. I hear it. I'm going to be
Yeah.
70 in 2 weeks. Things don't work
Oh
as well as they
wow!
used to.
I'm older than she is, but not by much.
Shock! I thought y'all were like my age, in your early
No,
60s.
she's 72 and I'm going to be 70. So,
Wow! I just turned
We
61.
deserve to be called crones.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
I
earned
think
the Crone
you've
name.
earned that title.
Yes.
That's a great moniker to put above you.
Crones.
And I think that's part of the joy of learning all of this is to teach people what the real meaning is of some of these words that have
Exactly.
been hijacked by other faiths and turned into something bad when it's actually something good.
Exactly.
And isn't it interesting that you have to be older before you realize a lot of the stuff that we're beginning to realize?
Well, that's just because we
we're
come
just
from
too
a misogynistic society.
That, and we're too busy making a living or doing so many other things. We don't get to look at what's really
Important.
inside us. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
You got to get old.
You got to get old so you
I
have
think
time.
that sucks. So
And
we
then
need
you
to
You
get
get
really
older and
busy.
you realize, damn, I didn't know everything.
That's for sure.
It's like
There's
when I
still
got
a
my
whole lot more I
degree,
got
I'm
to
like,
learn.
I don't know anything. Oh, there's more dumb than I am. I can teach them. So yeah, it's odd,
Yeah, and I
but it's
just
great. You
Life is
never get
good.
tired because there's always something
No.
to
Something
learn.
else to learn.
at first I thought it was going to be really draining. It's gonna be like weekends are my only free time. If I'm filling it up doing shows, I'm gonna be exhausted. And the opposite has happened.
I
It's
know.
like
Energizes you.
it's like plugging into the pink bunny as he's rolling across the floor. It's like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And well, thank you, ladies, very much. I know y'all are
Thank
hungry,
you for
Thank you for
having us.
having
And
us.
we'll see you on
Yes.
our channel.
and I'll be
Later.
on your channel.
We'll
I don't
figure it
remember
out.
the date.
We'll
we've
figure
got-
it out.
I got it written down somewhere. I don't know.
We
We'll
do
figure
too.
it
I
out.
just can't remember it. I can only go week by week.
I had to go
How
buy a
many this week?
special notebook just to keep all the dates down with because I was starting to get confused. It was like,
It's easy.
okay, this is getting,
Right.
I don't know who's when and what. So I had to go buy
We
a
have
date
a-
book for it.
We have a calendar that's just separately for the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
That's what I'm in the process of doing is making myself an online calendar so I can access it at work because sometimes I'll get a text in the middle of the workday and it's like, I can't tell them yes, I can or no, I can't because I don't have my calendar with me to,
Right.
I don't think to grab that stuff before I leave in the morning. So, although I've been trying to get better at it, but well,
And-
thank you all again very, very
Thank
much.
you, sweetheart.
And thank you all for coming to watch in the
Thank
chat room.
you.
And do go ahead and continue to spread love everywhere.
Yeah, spread your light. Everywhere
That's
you go,
it.
the world needs it.
That's right.
And people
Yeah.
like Sherry, you're doing the job.
Yep.
And both of you too. I mean, I enjoy watching y'all. So
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate
mutual admiration
it.
here.
Admiration.
Mutual society. Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, people. And